Well, hello, glorious people. How are you doing today? I made a video a few days ago that I'm going to upload because it does have some good information on there. But I wanted to add this video to it and make you realize when you go to the cut of that video that, you know, it was made 3 to 4 days ago. In it, I give a infection rate count. Since then, it has almost doubled. I think I gave a count of 90,000, and that was then. But this is 3 to 4 days later, somewhere around there, and I think the infection rate is up to 150,000, pretty close. So, but the important information that I wanted to share is, you know, GM and Ford saying they need a 100-day window to produce these ventilators, or there is a 100-day window. I understand that. Now, what we're doing is catering to the extremely sick by producing ventilators, is what Mercedes is doing in Germany. They are planning on producing mass CPAP machines. I think that's what yes, we do need to produce ventilators. And if you don't know what a CPAP machine is, it helps you, it gives positive airflow into your lungs whenever you breathe in. It pushes that air into your lungs, and all that is it's not anything you stick down your throat to help you breathe. It's a mask. And people that have sleep apnea use this. You can look that up, CPAP. And from what Germany is saying, that, you know, that machine will help lesser cases. So we can save the ventilators for the more serious cases, but those that require hospitalization, early hospitalization, we can put them on CPAP machines, and they may recover from it, you know, with just a CPAP machine, if it produces, you know, if they're able to get enough oxygen through that to keep them healthy. And that's what this disease does, is it attacks your lungs, and you lose the ability to produce oxygen. And when that happens, you know, it shuts down your other organs. And that's why this is an ARDS disease, acute respiratory distress syndrome disease. And I think that whoever has any connections out there with the political industry, the healthcare industry, we need to get this, because we're not even at the top of the spike yet, people. I mean, we only have 150,000 infections, and that health guy, you know, he said he expects millions of infections. So we need to mass produce CPAP machines also, to help save people's lives. And I wanted to add this on to the clip that I did a few days ago. I appreciate it. Well, hello again, people, glorious people. I just thought I would make a quick clip. I got cut off on when I was talking about the hantavirus in an earlier clip. This is a couple of days later right now, and I'm currently down in Fort Worth right now on another load and getting loaded. And from what I heard, the hantavirus, now they don't know. People say that the hantavirus is cannot be transferred from human to human, and that's actually they haven't done any studies on that. They don't know. The medical industry doesn't know if it can be transferred or not from human to human. They're suspecting that it's transferred through rat urine and rat feces, but other than that, they don't rightly know if it is transferred from human to human. Now, they do know the death rate of the hantavirus is 38%. The mortality rate is 38% of the hantavirus, and that's quite significant. Now, I think the coronavirus mortality rate is up around, I know what they're telling you. They're telling you 2.7, 3 point, that is they're misconstruing numbers. All right, they're not doing these calculations right. I mean, one reason is because they're sending people with symptoms home without even testing them. Another reason is that, now I heard that China.
Well, you're talking to me.
I heard that China. Now, do you really believe the numbers that China is telling you, that 80,000 were infected? I mean, really? After they had that New Year's celebration, and that a week before that, 2 weeks before that, I don't know how long it was. It was probably a month before that when this was spreading around China, and then they had the New Year's celebration, where millions of people got out, and they're going to tell us that only 80-something thousand were infected. Do you really believe that, people? No, I heard some numbers. And I think they're pretty accurate. Now, it could be wrong on the infection and death count, but I think as far as the infection, the mortality rate, the infection rate, the RO2, whatever they call it, is pretty accurate. And I'll tell you why. The numbers I heard were 19.8 million people died in China from the coronavirus. Now, this information was from last week, so there could still be more people dying. And why I tend to believe that is because they did order several incinerators to burn bodies, okay? And if it's thousands of people, you just dig some trenches. But if it's millions and millions of people that have died, I mean, how many trenches are you going to dig? I mean, because they know the satellites can see those trenches, and they could have an accurate count. We could have a pretty good count by how many trenches they dig and bury the bodies as to how many, died from the virus, right? So incinerators were ordered. The incinerators burned day and night, and if you don't. Now, I don't know if the mainstream media reported this, but Japan had black rain falling in their country. And it wasn't from a volcano, and it wasn't from a giant oil well, It was from them burning the bodies of all those people that died, And the ashes went up in the atmosphere, and the wind. I checked the wind map during that time too, and the wind was blowing from China to the spots where they were reporting black rain. Just north of Tokyo, and then to the south and southern Japan. The wind was splitting, so I believe that number is correct. I'm going to go with that number. 19.8 million died. The media's not telling. China's not telling you the truth. The media's not going to tell you the truth. And 167 million infected. And that percentage gives us a percentage just off the wall. I don't have a calculator, but if 167 million were infected and almost 20 million died, that's 15 to 20% mortality rate, somewhere in there. And we're just having 167 million people infected over a month, 2 months time, that's a lot of people. And that kind of worries me. And it should everybody here in the U.S. It should worry everybody here in the U.S. I'm not saying don't be afraid. I just want you to know, what we're up against, because the administration's going to try to keep things positive and say, well, we're going to go till April 15th and everybody's going to go back to work. I mean, that's fine if everybody does, but just be expecting. But if you had to go back to work, I would wear a mask and I would bring some gloves. I would not take off that mask if I was at work. If I went outside, yeah, I would take off the mask, and that's what I'm doing driving a truck. You know, when I go to a shipper receiver, you know, my mask is off while I'm driving. Even when I'm outside, I have it around my neck. I don't have it on. But when I go into the shipping and receiving office, which, you know, a lot of these companies still need to get that straight, is that drivers don't need to be going in these little rooms. They need to come out, and, you know, so this virus won't spread. But you know, more have stepped up to the plate and have done that. I've noticed that since my last video where I was telling you FMCSA and coronavirus, the video I did where I was saying that they need to step up and change their company policies so that this virus doesn't spread. A lot of them have done that. I'd say half the amount of shippers and receivers have done that, but still half of them, you know, they're not lifting a finger. You just go into their office. You know, they have a I don't know what you call it, a zero energy office or whatever, so you can feel the air blowing out of the office window. So they're not getting anything from any of the drivers into the office. So, you know, they're in a confined area that the negative air is coming out. You know, so they're not worried about it. But it's not like that way. It's not that way, you know, where we have to go into the office. You know, the air is just lingering in there. I mean, we don't have a negative air system in there. So, but I do think these numbers are correct, and I just want to tell you guys, you know, if you don't have any masks, if you can't find any, start making them. Go to freaking Home Depot or Sam's and get you some HEPA filters for your, you know, that people buy for their furnace. Start cutting them things up, stapling some rope or string onto them. Do something, you know, because this thing is going to get pretty bad, I believe. I mean, I pray to the Lord that it's not, but the way it's looking, I mean, I do not believe 80,000 were infected in China. I believe that 167 million were. But as it is of now, you know, March the 14th, the U.S. had 15,000 infections, and as of now, there's over 90,000. And this is the 27th, and it was 80,000 yesterday, and the rate's just going to go up. Like I said, they keep turning people away, that the younger people that don't show serious symptoms. So you know the infection rate is more. And if you go on Zero Hedge, they did an article about how these la-di-da spring breakers, you know, they wanted to party, but they ended up spreading it all over the country. And a company did a map. They tracked their cell phones. Now they don't give the information of the owners, you know, because that would be illegal. But they did track their cell phones and made a map of where all these spring breakers went after Florida. And everywhere they went, you know, there was a cluster of coronavirus. So thank you, spring breakers, you little punks, for spreading it around. And I'm sure you'll be happy to know that yeah, when you get sick, you know, a lot of them are sick that went to the spring break in Florida, but a lot of those younger people are. But I'm sure they'll be happy to know, you know, when they go to the hospital and they have serious symptoms, that someone that is over the age of 65, you know, the ventilator will get pulled from them so they can give it to that younger person that was on spring break in Florida. If I knew you were on spring break in Florida and I was a doctor, good luck, buddy. You know, I'm taking care of this older person who did not make that stupid decision when you were told there was an epidemic out, and you still went down there and partied hard. That's pretty freaking selfish, you know. And no, but I'm sure everybody's telling you that right now. So, and Trump just he signed the stimulus bill, so I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, each married couple that make under a certain amount is going to get $2,400. A single adult will probably get $1,200 if he makes under a certain amount. I think $75,000. And yeah, if you had a tax return and you're over the age of 18 and have a bank account, you will be getting a check. So, you know, if it helps, it helps. You know, it'll relieve some people of some. You know, some people are unemployed, and I heard that, you know, people that are unemployed, they can't even get unemployment insurance because the lines are too busy. Yeah, they call up and lines busy. When they do get through to a recording, it locks them out, and then they have to speak to a regular person, and they can never get through. So, you know, people have been trying to get on for a week, and there's millions of Americans that haven't even got signed up yet because the system is too busy. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how this infection plays out. I mean, basically from March 14th to the the 27th now, reported cases of 90,000. March 14th it was 15,000. So it's like, what is that? 15, 30, 45, 60. Oh, that's more than quadruple. That's like 5 or 6 times greater, you know, within a little over a week. So, and people are still going to Sam's and going to Costco, you know, and Trader Joe's and Publix, and they're not wearing a mask. They're not protecting themselves. People, go down to Home Depot, like I said. Go to Sam's, go to Costco, Publix, Trader Joe. Do what you have to do. Cut those filters up and wear them. All right, this is highly contagious disease. Some people say it's fake, you know, but like I said, I don't know if I said this on another video, but I think I did say it on this video. But I don't think, you know, China and Iran and all these other countries and Russia would be cooperating with the Western world as far as producing a Hollywood infectious disease plot movie. No, I don't think it is. I think it may have been bioengineered, the virus. It may have been, regardless of how it came out, of who let it get out. The whole point is God is using this. He's pleading with the world. This thing has went worldwide. Okay, other viruses have been local to certain countries, and that was their own type of tribulation type scenario, you know. But this thing has went worldwide. So the Lord is pleading with the world to come back to Him. And why He's doing this is because something's going to happen. All right, something is going to happen. Things are going to change. He's allowing this to happen so that we can come back to Him. So if you don't know the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, rewind the video a little bit, but no, it's 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 4. And I have a phone call, so I have to go. All right.